doing jury selection in the Diddy trial.
I know, yeah. And some names are starting to come out as far as witnesses.
So if you're the defense in that, what kind of juror are you looking for?
Well, you're not going to be able to find a jury that has not heard of the issue.
Which is typically like one of the number one.
Yeah, they want somebody who's unaware and doesn't know a lot about the situation. This is too high profile. You're not going to be able to find a juror. If you do find a juror like that, that's not a very smart person. And so you're not going to find somebody that hasn't heard it. It's just been too prevalent in the news.
Yeah.
What you're trying to find is people that will acknowledge or say, yes, I've heard a little bit about both sides, but I know that sometimes things get overstated. I don't really know what happens, and I will keep an open mind and listen to all the evidence. Now, can people really keep an open mind? Not really. Yeah. I mean, you can be jaded
they
one way.
They want to think they can.
Yeah, I have jurors all the time tell me when I do jury selection that they can keep an open mind to something. And if they've been personally affected by something in the past, for instance, if you have been a victim of a drunk driving case and you were injured, and now you're called for a jury duty 12 years later, and it turns out that the defendant was drinking and driving, you might be able to say, I can certainly keep an open mind, but you can't because you have been negatively affected, and you may think you can, but when it comes time to deliberation, you're going to know your life was impacted by a drunk driver, and you're going to punish this person.
Even subconsciously.
That's exactly right. So they're looking for jurors that aren't really connected to the entertainment business, don't really care, don't know a lot, they know a little bit, and they will say they can keep an open mind. And there will be a lot of jury research people in the background doing a deep dive on these potential jurors. They will know how you vote.
Right.
In the last multiple elections, they will know what you're registered as, a Republican or Democrat. They're going to know how much money you make. I mean, they do a deep dive because there's so much personal information available on the web for all of us.
Yeah.
And there's people that put everything out there on Facebook. I have asked jurors before, what are your hobbies? What are your interests? What bumper stickers do you have in your car? Because it tells you a lot about a person.
Any chance they can pick a jury that'll come to a verdict like they did with OJ, where America knows that OJ did it, but the jury said he didn't?
It's tough. I don't think that, OJ was a different character. He was a beloved character for a very long time in this country. And then the crime was so dramatically different than the public perception they had of him. It happened in a time in this country when race relations were challenged, and because it came shortly after some other things that happened, Rodney King. And there was some concern, I think, even on behalf of some jurors who have spoken up later in life, that if they had gone guilty, you would have had riots and all kinds of mayhem happen from protests because of the racial issue. I don't think Diddy gets that benefit. I think people are disgusted by what he's done. This is not about a one-time event where maybe you snapped and killed your spouse and her lover allegedly. This is about the victimization of innocent people, including children, over a number of years, where you've used your money and your wealth to shield yourself. You've threatened people. And I think that the average juror is going to want to punish that greatly.